So, welcome friends. In this new lecture, we shall study the positivism, means positivistic approach to study the society. Okay. Now, in previous video, we have discussed the detailed syllabus of the sociology paper 1 and paper 2. And today, I will start with second unit from paper 1. Okay, not first but second. Okay, you may be wondering why I'm starting from second unit, but reason is there because second unit is very much important. If you understand second unit is the basic, मीन्स बेसिक टर्मिनोलॉजी. अगर आपको ये समझ में आ गया सेकंड यूनिट, तो आपको एंटायर पेपर 1 भी समझ में आ जाएगा और पेपर 2 भी समझ में आ जाएगा. उसमें आपको कोई भी डाउट नहीं रहेगा. समझ रहे हो आप मेरी बात को कि हम क्यों ये यूनिट 2 से शुरुआत कर रहे हैं. तो इसमें से हम देखेंगे साइंस, साइंटिफिक मेथड्स एंड क्रिटिक. ओके, ये एक दिया है. सेकेंडली, मेजर थियोरेटिकल स्ट्रैंड्स, रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी, positivism and critic, fact, value and objectivity, non-positivistic methodology. Okay, in this lecture of the unit 2, we will be discussing about positivism and its critic first. Okay. Hmm. So positivism. So what is a positivism? It is way of seeing the society. It is the perspective which the sociologists use to study the society. Okay, and what I want to tell you, positivism. Okay, many founding father of the sociology believed that it is possible to create the science of the society. Okay, means many founding fathers of the sociology believed that it is possible to create the science of the society based on the same principle and procedures that natural sciences used, such as chemistry and biology. Okay, so positivism basically what it tells कि जो भी उसके अर्ली फाउंडर्स थे, और इसके अर्ली फाउंडर्स में कौन कौन आता है, ऑगस्ट कॉम्टे. ये जो अर्ली फाउंडर्स थे उनका ये बिलीफ था कि इट इज पॉसिबल टू क्रिएट द साइंस ऑफ द सोसाइटी. like there is a science, natural science, same science there can be for society, and which is based on the same principle and procedures as the natural science such as chemistry and biology. जिस तरह से नेचुरल साइंटिस्ट केमिस्ट्री और बायोलॉजी को पढ़ते हैं या एक्सपेरिमेंट क्रिएट करते हैं, उसी तरह से सोसाइटी को भी स्टडी किया जा सकता है और एक सोसाइटी का साइंस भी बनाया जा सकता है. ये एक तरीका है सोसाइटी को स्टडी करने का, जिसको कि पॉजिटिविज्म कहते हैं. ओके, this approach to the study of the society is called positivism. Okay, Auguste Comte, see, you know Auguste Comte, he is founding father of sociology. Means he was the person who first coined the term sociology and founded the first department of sociology. So he is considered as the father of the sociology. In his approach of positivism, he believed that the method and assumption of the natural science would produce positive science of the society. Why he was more interested in studying approach of the positivism was he was wanted to create the science of society. According to him, what how the natural scientists are studying their subject, in the similar manner we can also study the society. They believed that the behavior of the man was governed by the principle of cause and effect, which were invariable as the behavior of matter. So in this approach, what they are doing, they are comparing. the nature of man or member of the society to the matter, atoms. Okay, and they want to establish the positive science of the society. The positivist approach to sociology makes following assumption: the behavior of man, like the behavior of matter, can be objectively measured. Okay, they want to measure the behavior of man in objective manner. Okay, what is the objective manner? Means, if you, what you saying ki, uh, if you H plus O2, what it gives? H2O, है ना? This is a natural science. Okay, so this is objective. Wherever you, when at whatever place, if you do reaction of H plus O2, it will give you H2O water. So it is objectively measured. Okay, in the same manner, behavior of the man also can be measured according to these sociologists. Just like behavior of matter is quantified, such as weight, temperature, pressure. Similarly, the methods of objective measurement can be devised for human behavior. So, what they also wanted to devise some methods like the natural scientists have devised to measure the behavior of the matter. In the same way, they want to devise the methods through which they can measure the human behavior. They wanted to establish such a methods through which they can know the cause of the human behavior. You understand? उनका यही मकसद था पॉजिटिविस्ट लोगों का कि वो भी एक ऐसी मेथड, ऐसी साइंस बनाए जिससे कि सोसाइटी में जो भी मेंबर्स हैं वो क्यों बिहेव करते हैं उस तरह से, उसको समझा जाए. Okay, once it has been observed that the matter in the questions, matter in the question always react in the same way under the fixed condition, the theory can be devised. Like I have told you, H plus O2 give you H2O. Once they have seen this H plus O2 give H2O, so theory can be built. Once it has been observed that the matter in the question, means एक बार हमारी मेथड एस्टेब्लिश हो जाती है तो देन वी कैन बिल्ड द थियरी. From positivist view, such as the methods and assumptions are applicable to human behavior. So positivist, what are the view? Are of the view कि what are the methods of the natural sciences? Similar way, we also can design such a methods, and we can study the human behavior, and we can we can devise the causal explanation for the human behavior. Observation of the behavior based on the objective measurement make it possible to produce the statement of cause and effect. So what are of the view that observation of the behavior based on the objective measurement makes it possible to produce statement of cause and effect. The theories may be devised to explain the behavior. Okay. Why positivists place may more emphasis on the behavior which is directly observed. Okay. And ignores which is not directly observed. So positivists are more interested what is directly observed in the society, and they ignore totally which is not directly observed in the society, because they are of the view that the factors that are not directly observable, such as meanings are not directly observable, feelings, purposes are so not so much important. According to them, these uh, these uh, these matters which are not observable, such as the meanings, feelings, purposes, they are not important in the positivistic study. They could not be measured accurately. and will divert the attention from the real cause of the behavior. उनका ये मानना है कि ये जो है कि जो डायरेक्टली मेजर नहीं किया जा सकता, जैसे कि मीनिंग्स, फीलिंग, पर्पसेस, they divert the attention from the real cause of the behavior, so they should be ignored. Okay, for example, according to the positivists, large number of people enter into marriage to produce offspring. This is according to them. उनका ये मानना है कि समाज में लोग क्यों शादी करते हैं, क्योंकि उन्हें बच्चे चाहिए. ओके, ये उनकी उनका एक नजरिया है पॉजिटिविस्ट लोगों का. अकॉर्डिंग टू देम, दिस इज द वेल एस्टेब्लिश फैक्ट. मीन्स ये एक फैक्ट है कि लोग जो शादी करते हैं वो क्यों शादी करते हैं, क्योंकि उन्हें बच्चे चाहिए, बिकॉज दे वांट ऑफस्प्रिंग, एंड कैन बी ऑब्जर्व, दिस कैन बी ऑब्जर्व एंड क्वांटिफाइबल ऑल्सो, बिकॉज यू सी, अगर मीन्स टू पीपल्स आर entering into marriage, after some years or some months they will have kids. Okay, so this is observed and quantifiable. Okay, however, range of meanings member of the society give to marriage varies from person to person. So what positivistic approach positivistic approach tells कि persons enter into marriage because they want to have offspring, but there can be other meanings also which they ignore. Who ignores? Approach ignores. And what are those? रेंज ऑफ मीनिंग्स. इसका एक मीनिंग नहीं है, और बहुत सारे मीनिंग्स हो सकते हैं कि लोग क्यों मैरिज में आते हैं, लेकिन वो जो कि ये पॉजिटिविस्टिक एंगल से स्टडी करते हैं वो इन सब मीनिंग को मीन्स दे इग्नोर दोज मीनिंग्स. एंड व्हाट आर दोज मीनिंग्स? सी, वन कैन एंटर इन मैरिज बिकॉज ही फील्स लोनली. यस, कोई मैरिज इसलिए भी कर सकता है क्योंकि उसे बहुत अकेला लग रहा है, फिर वो लाइफ पार्टनर ले, means he takes life partner and then he becomes happy. So here kids is secondary byproduct. First, he did marriage because he was lonely. अगर उस loneliness में kids was not the first purpose of him to marry. For him to marry was because he was feeling lonely. Second, he was in love. Ag- he married because he was in love, and after love, if kids happen, that is secondary. But for him, first purpose to marry was to because he was in love. And third, because they think that it was the thing to do so. अब ये कौन है? बिकॉज उनको लगता है कि अभी राइट टाइम है, या उनकी एज 25-30 ऐसा कुछ हो गया और इसी एज में शादी करते हैं, तो उनको ऐसा लगता है इट इज़ द वे, द थिंग्स हैज़ टू बी डन, और इट इज़ द थिंग टू बी डन. सो ये भी एक कारण हो सकता है कि वाई दे आर मैरिंग. मीन्स उनके दिमाग में ये तो नहीं था कि they want children. Okay, firstly, but according to positivist, what is there? Why people marry? Because they want to have offspring. So they are more focused on the facts which are directly observable, and they ignore completely those matters which are not directly observable in the society, because according to them, these things varies from person to person, and they can divert the and they can divert the attention from real cause of the behavior. Okay, because for one person there is different meaning, for another person there is different meaning. So they say कि ये जो meanings है, so ये जो meanings है, they should be ignored. Understand why positivistic people or positivistic approach have more emphasis on the behavior which is directly observed, and ignores which is not directly observed. So positivist approach emphasizing emphasizes the behavior which is directly observed in the society, and ignores which is not directly observed. Okay, then what they say कि even if this type of meanings that members gives to their behavior is measurable, but they divert the attention from the real cause of the behavior, and since it diverts the attention from real cause of the behavior, it should be ignored. So this also can be measured according to them, but since it varies from person to person, it should be ignored. And what is largely what is observed and acceptable and directly observable, it should be accepted. The positivist put more emphasis on the observable fact. What is observable fact? People enter into marriage to produce offsprings, obviously, because after marriage they are going to have kids only. So these are observable facts. So positivists put more emphasis on observable fact. It is their belief that the human behavior can be explained in much same way as the behavior of matter. So they compare the human behavior with non-living thing. What is matter? Non-living thing, atoms, molecule. So they say ki in the same way the behavior can be explained in some same way the behavior of matter. Natural scientists do not inquire about the meaning, okay, and the purposes of matter. Atoms and molecules do not act in terms of meaning, they simply react to external stimuli. Understand? The positivistic people or positivistic approach is that in the same way natural scientists, what they do not inquire about the purposes of matter, okay, ki what is the purpose of matter, what is the purpose of atom, or atoms do not react in terms of meaning, they simply react to external stimuli. Who? Atom. What is external stimuli? That can be heat, pressure, okay. So what atom do? It reacts to heat, pressure. So the job of the natural scientist is to observe, measure and explain the reaction. In the same way, positivist approach is to explain the human behavior, applies the same knowledge. So positivist approach is what? Key aim of the positivism should be to explain the human behavior, and they should, when they are explaining the human behavior, they should not take the feelings, meanings they attach to the human values or whatever thing, that should not be taken into consideration. It should be from the societal angle. Like if a person, okay, he is committing a suicide, okay, if a person is committing a suicide, okay, so our purpose as a positivist is not to study that human, why he committed suicide, he was feeling sad or his psychology was not good or his mental. Our approach should to see what are the causes in the society which made that person to do suicide. That can be joblessness, okay, that person was failure, he cannot find any job, okay, joblessness, okay, and he was not successful in society, so he commits suicide. So according to positivist, they should see the cause in the society. Ki one person who is committing suicide, it is not because of him, it is because of society, because society is putting pressure. He is not successful, so society is giving pressure and he is committing suicide. Understand? So positivism is a not an individual perspective, it is a societal perspective, seeing the social reality from society perspective, not from individual perspective, okay. For them, people, example, people enters the marriage to produce children in response to the demand of the society. So for positivist approach, why people enters into marriage, it is a classic example. Ki why people enter into marriage? To produce children. Why? Because society wants them to produce children. Why people are entering in the marriage to produce children? Not because they want children, because society wants them to have children. Why society wants to have them children? Because society requires members for its survival. And ये members कहाँ पे आएंगे? कहाँ से आएंगे? जब पीपल शादी करेंगे तभी तो बच्चे पैदा होंगे, और वही बच्चे आगे चल के सोसाइटी के मेंबर्स बनेंगे. सो फॉर द सर्वाइवल ऑफ सोसाइटी, सोसाइटी डिमांड्स कि you should get married and you should produce offspring. So it is the society which is making people to have marriage. It is not individual feeling कि they want to have marriage and they are marrying. You understand what I am now saying? कि पॉजिटिविस्टिक अप्रोच है क्या, कि people are not marrying because they want to marry, because society is putting pressure कि you should get married and you should produce offspring because it is important फॉर द सर्वाइवल ऑफ सोसाइटी. क्योंकि जब तक आप बच्चा पैदा नहीं करोगे तब तक मेंबर्स कैसे आएंगे सोसाइटी में, है ना. सो फॉर सोसाइटल सर्वाइवल, सोसाइटी इज encouraging you to marry and produce offspring, and this is called as a what you say, positivistic approach to study the society. They will not take care of your feelings कि you were marrying because you are feeling lonely, or you are marrying because you are thinking it is a thing to do, or something means external or extra which is motivating you to do marriage, or uh, whether you are in love. They will ignore those feelings, and they will accept only those feelings which are directly seen in the society. Like society is requiring new members. Okay, society is requiring new members, and from where these new members will come? When people are going to marry. So society wants people to get married. Understand? And so members of society simply responds to the demand of society. Means it takes members as the passive means reactors. They don't have their own what you say, means choices. They don't have choices, they simply react to the demand of the society, because society, they think society is the external stimuli and society is more powerful than individual. It can put the pressure, and when the society put pressure, individual, even if they want to marry or not, they will marry and they will produce offspring, and they will give new member for the society. For them society is important, and individual perspectives, individual feelings, that doesn't matter to them. So this type of approach to study the society is called as a positivistic approach. You understand what I'm telling? Understand? Okay. The meanings that members of the society attach to the behavior are largely inconsequential, and therefore they should be ignored. Okay, so what are they telling? Ki meanings which the member of the society attaches to their behavior are largely inconsequential, means they should be ignored. And okay, they are inconsequential and they should be ignored. Why? Because they are not marrying because they are having some meanings, because they are marrying because society wants them to get married. Understand? According to them. Other points. These are extra points. Marxism is often seen as the positivistic approach. Okay, why? Because it is argued that it sees the human behavior as reaction to the stimulus of economic infrastructure. Now, Marxism is also considered as what you say, positivistic uh, science or positivistic approach to study society. Why? Because here he is telling there are two classes. One class is working class and another is capitalist. Okay, who? Marxism. Okay, according to him, capitalistic class exploits the worker class, according to Marx. Okay, and when working class will realize, and when the consciousness is built among the working class that they have been exploited by the capitalist class, then they will unite. Okay, who will unite? Working class. Okay, and collectively they will throw the capitalism. This is the Marxism theory, ki working class is exploited by the capitalist class, and when the working class is going to realize that they have been exploited, cheated by the capitalist class, they will unite and collectively take action and overthrow the capitalist. This is means in short Marxism theory. So why they are it is considered positivistic approach, because they do not take the what you say, consider the feelings of worker also can take decide to not to react. This can be possible or not? Yes, because he can also decide not to react at all, है ना, and he can accept his situation, but that they doesn't take into consideration. What they are telling ki they are going to what you say, react to the economic against the economic infrastructure. They can also reject to what you say, react, or they can be happy in whatever they are getting. Understand? So these type of feelings of the workers they have ignored. So Marxism also is a positivistic approach to study the society. So this can also be questioned in your means. Okay, he मार्क्सिज्म इज ऑफन सीन एज पॉजिटिविस्टिक अप्रोच, यहाँ तक दे देंगे कि एक्सप्लेन कि मार्क्सिज्म इज ऑल्सो पॉजिटिविस्टिक अप्रोच। तो आपको पता होना चाहिए कि मार्क्सिज्म क्यों है पॉजिटिविस्टिक अप्रोच। इन द सेम वे फंक्शनलिज्म can also be called as a positivistic approach as it is seen as a behavior of members of society in response to the functional prerequisite of the society. What does it means? कि members of the society behaves according to functional prerequisite. And what are those functional prerequisite? Key, it can be marriage. Okay, why people are doing marriage? Because they don't want to do marriage, but it society demand them to be married and produce offspring. Okay, and this offspring is what, member of the society, who, new member, and society requires new member for its survival. So society is demanding them to get married, and so they are producing offspring, and in this way society is surviving. Okay, because if you don't produce offspring, society will collapse only na. So this is a functional prerequisite to get married. So functionalism is also seen as a positivistic approach. They ignore the feelings of people, and they simply see behavior of people in societal terms, that people um, behave to meet the functional prerequisites. People behave to meet the functional prerequisite of the society. Understand? So functionalism is also classified as a positivistic approach, and Marxism is also seen as a positivistic approach to study the society. Okay, then there is one more approach to study the society, is a phenomenological approach. Phenom- pheno- Phenomenological approach. Okay, so we have seen here key in the what you say, in our syllabus it is positivism and its critic. And who is giving its critic? Who is giving the critic of positivism? Phenomenologist. Okay, phenomenological approach. Understand? It is approach to study society and reject that the many assumption of positivism. They will reject the many assumption what positivistic approach has given to study the society. Who, phenomenologist, will reject the assumption of positivistic approach. And why they will why, what is the base of the rejection? Key, they argue that the subject matter of the social science and natural science is fundamentally different. Okay, what is the subject matter of natural science? Atoms, molecule. Okay, what are they? Non-living things. So subject matter of natural science is non-living thing, whereas subject matter of social life, science is living things. Who are living things? People. Okay. And since subject matter of social science itself are living people, so they have consciousness. So they have consciousness, and according to their consciousness they will react. They may react or they may not react to the external stimuli. It is their choice. Who? Phenomenologists are telling कि these living people who are the member of society, they may choose to react or choose not to react. It is depend on their consciousness, which is rejected by the positivistic approach. Because what is positivistic approach? According to them, member of society behaves to external stimuli. And what is that external stimuli? It is nothing but the society, because society wants them to behave in such a way. Why they are marrying? Because society wants them to marry. They completely ignore their feelings, that this person was entering into marriage because he was feeling lonely. This person entered into marriage because he was in love. They are not care about those feelings. They are only caring about what society wants. And in this way they have rejected the consciousness of the individuals. And phenomenological approach is taking consciousness of individual in the consideration. I hope you have understand positivistic approach to the society, and I have made sincere attempt from my side to explain you ki what is the positivistic approach to study the society. If you like the lecture, please subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you very much, and comment.